Kilo Charlie 9, November.
What's up, guys? It's Kilo 8 Whiskey Oscar Oscar. That's K8. Woo! Woo! Coming at you from another POTA activation. I swear this is not a POTA channel.
You sit on a throne of lies.
We are at US 1972, that is Little Miami State Park, and the interesting thing about this particular park is it's 50 miles long. I am at almost the end, not quite. I'm in Milford-ish, Ohio, where it ends on the southern end. The northern end is about 50 miles north from here. So what we're looking at next to me here is the Little Miami Bike Trail. It's such a beautiful day. I didn't want to let it go to waste. I actually wasn't planning on doing an activation this weekend, but here we are. Before we get started, I wanted to show you my POTA setup. I did it in the very first video, but I wasn't that, in depth on it. So let's take a look at what I'm working with here. So I'm using an old camera bag that I don't use anymore. It's actually held together by duct tape, funny enough. And let's take a look inside. So this is what I'm working with here. We have the Yaesu FT891, as well as the Amazon Special AT100 antenna tuner. I've got my Ghetto antenna mast right here. It's actually meant for flying kites on the beach. And you'll also notice the spike that I have is also for a umbrella on the beach. I've got a 20 amp hour eco-worthy LiPo 4 battery, got some water, got some paper and a pen, and then I've got a battery monitor as well as my antenna. Today, we're going to be using Salty Watts Coastal 20 antenna. That's what I've been using on pretty much all of my activations. And the reason behind that is I haven't got around to making another one yet. That'll be in a future video. So there's a few places that you can access the Little Miami Trail, Little Miami State Park Trail around where I live. And I chose this one, I'll show you on the map where it's at, just because I've been to the convenience store behind me and I knew there was this little picnic table area. I went to the main trailhead and it was parked up. I don't think I could have even parked in there. And I've actually never been there, so I don't know if there's any picnic tables or anything like that. That's why it's a good idea to scout out the location before you go, especially if you're looking for a spot. A lot of parks that I've been to so far, I've been able to just pull my truck up into and use the tailgate. This, not so much. Maybe if I get to an actual parking area, but to stay true to the rules, I believe the park extends about 50 feet on each side of the trail, so I wanted to be as close as possible. All right, and here is how the final setup looks. I got my FT891 with my Amazon AT100 tuner down here with my battery. My gosh, that is a lot of wires. And here is my mast that I got for way cheaper than a POTA mast or anything like that. Again, I got it on Amazon. It's for flying kites on the beach, and it's sitting inside of a beach umbrella holder. So here's what that looks like. And then the antenna comes down here to the LDG 4-to-1 balun and heads over to the radio. Look, you don't need a lot of money to get into POTA. I mean, the most expensive thing here is the radio, but there's cheaper radios out there that you can get. The battery, 50, I mean, you get a smaller battery for 30, 40 bucks. You have the battery. You don't need a tuner. If you use an in-fed half wave and you cut it to the right length, you don't even need the tuner. Got the radio. I mean, what, the Unen or the balun is like 30 bucks. I'm using speaker wire that I bought off of Amazon. I think I got like 100, 200 feet for like 20 bucks. And I'm pretty sure the mast is, I think it was like maybe 50 bucks. And the little umbrella thing, I don't know how much I bought that for. We actually legitimately bought that on vacation one time, and we probably paid way more than you could get it on Amazon. So anyways, let's get on the air.
All right, so park to park with Oscar. Go.
Park to park, Kilo 8 Whiskey, Oscar, Oscar.
It's the Kilo Oscar, QSL.
QSL, my friend. I have you 5-5 into Park US 1972, 1972.
Thanks for the 5-5 into 1972, and we have got you at about a 5-6 in the US Park 11235.
Roger that. Thanks for picking me up, and have a great activation, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for the park to park. Photo on. Have a great.
Okay, so if I look sad and depressed and not excited in this video, you're pretty much right. I was dealing with some interesting interference during this activation, and you can hear it when he comes back and puts my call sign out there, and there's just all of a sudden there's this kind of buzzing and it drops. And at times it got to the point where it was totally interrupting a QSO, and I was really upset, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. I messed with the antenna, I moved stuff around, I made sure the connections were put together, and I just couldn't figure it out. So I didn't want the whole video to be me just looking depressed and wondering what the heck was going on. I just wanted to finish my activation. So I decided to continue to call out park to park just to finish it up. But in hindsight, I probably should have just started calling out and being the center of attention and having people come to me. And I probably would have got it done a lot faster. So I am about to go into exactly what was happening. I have some good footage on my camera of what was actually happening on the radio. And we'll come back into the video here. And I want to ask you guys what you think it is. Holy moly, I don't think I've ever had that much of a difficulty activating a park before. So I started out just hunting and just to get a few QSOs, make sure the antenna was working really well. But I was getting a lot of really bad feedback. I couldn't really pull anybody in, and I kept getting this buzzing sound that it would come in every couple minutes. I'll play it right now.
Just get started here. It's a Kilo Charlie 9, November 5, Lima Kilo, Mexico. November 5.
So yeah, it would come in every couple minutes, and it would completely, like S9, take over the whole thing. I couldn't hear anybody, and it just kept happening. And there's a couple factors, and again, I'm really new to this, portable activation business. So I'm going to point some stuff out that I think could be the culprit, and I want to turn this into a learning thing for me. But also, if you're watching this and you're curious of what people think it is, go down in the comments and see what people are saying. So the number one culprit that I believe, and this is my fault for setting up in this area, but in the beginning of the video, you probably heard me say I went to one of the other areas that were pretty accessible by car, but it was completely parked up. I couldn't get in there. So this was kind of the next best spot. Funny thing is, before I even came, I looked at this on Google Maps, and I realized that there are power lines right next to where I would be. So here's where the power lines are. I would probably say maybe 50 to 100 feet. So here's the power lines. And here is where my antenna is. It's right there. So I believe that could be one culprit. The other culprit is this bench, or this picnic table, is metal. And I'll show you kind of how everything is set up on the table here. So we have the coax going from the antenna. It is hitting the ground, but it's touching the metal table. And that could also possibly be a point of interference. And then I also just noticed, I'm not sure if this is something, but the power line or whatever this is actually frayed over here. So that's all I can think. I don't know. I've never had this much difficulty. So I did mention at one point I was going to spot myself after I was having trouble hunting other activators. But the problem is I was scrolling through and I couldn't hear people. This could also be the antenna. I don't know. But I couldn't hear people. So even though people were spotted and I couldn't hear them, I wanted to be courteous and not take over someone's frequency, because if I called out, you know, is this frequency is in use and they could hear me, I wouldn't be able to hear them. So, and there's a QSO party going on this weekend. It's a nice day in a lot of parts of the country, and my God, 20 meters was absolutely packed. So what I did is I decided to truck it out. I decided to hunt 10 stations, 10 parks, and I grinded it out. And man, it was tough. It was really, really tough. But I wanted to share this this experience with people, because you know what? Sometimes it's not a win. I mean, today is a win, but it's not a fun win. My gosh, I sat here for 2 hours trying to grind out 10 contacts. Maybe not 2. Probably about like an hour and 15 to 30 minutes. But you know, sometimes you don't have a lot of fun. I had fun, don't get me wrong, but I was really frustrated. So drop a comment, let me know what you think my issue was, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Follow me at Amateur Hour everywhere, and I'll catch you on the flip side.